Good morning, Obi. I'm Dino Alcantara.
And my name is Melanie Depina, and welcome to this week's Obtv. Recently, a certain rapper has been in the news for some of the outlandish things that have been saying. Have you heard about this, Dino?
Oh yeah, you mean the one who calls himself a genius, right?
Yeah, that one. But obviously, some of the things he has been saying lately are everything but intelligent. In fact, he could learn from some of our classmates who participate in the Poetry Out Loud.
Most definitely. As most students know, this event is a chance to learn about poetry through memorization and recitation. However, it is much more than that. OB students, unlike the genius rapper, learn not just about the poems but also the history around the genre. They also gain better public speaking skills and acquire more confidence about themselves.
To give us some more information about this event, Obtv reporter Anushka Dunkley had given us a chance to speak with Ms. Umba about Poetry Out Loud.
Good morning, Obi. My name is Anushka Dunkley, and I'm here with
Umpa.
So, Umpa, what high school did you attend?
I went to East Boston High.
That's local.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to students at OB?
I think that, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's really about following your passions. You know, as an artist, I feel like a lot of people told me I couldn't be an artist, or that there was no hope in that. And I'm finding a way right now, and it's just taking creativity and hustle. So I say, as long as you have a hustle, and as long as you have the ambition to chase the dream and the passion that you're looking for, you can make it. You can do anything you want, literally. And you should.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great advice.
For sure.
So you guys should take that advice and put it into your own use.
Think through a thing we ain't been through, that it only made us stronger. I'm still working on my demons, y'all. I know what I be harboring. I know when I was starving, they were all up in my room like Drake and Marvin them. Had to pawn my soul to keep my soul from off the market, and there was college. I thought my whole life was gonna change. It just gave me double consciousness. I'll never sleep the same. So I ain't say I get no peace of mind.
Okay.
I don't even get no sleep at night. The devil's trying to take my soul. He got me chained up in this game of tug of war. It'll be alright, it's gonna be hell. Worst case scenario, you mess it up and fail. It'll be alright, it'll be, I know. Right now, I just need for you to make it home.
Thank you, Ms. Umpa. Those poems offer some pretty serious topics. I especially like the ones that cover racial inequality and the problems that women have faced. OB, I highly recommend that you check out these competitions. They are very eye-opening.
I agree. Some of those poems are deep. It's convenient that you mention women's struggle because in our next segment, student decides to illustrate that very concept. Here is Anushka speaking to Ms. Jacob about a mural that his students created.
Good morning, OB. My name is Anushka Dunkley, and today we're on the middle school floor in front of Mr. Jacobs' room. As you can see, there's a lot of posters here, and I want to know what it means. So let's go find out. And now I'm here with...
I'm Mr. Jacob.
So, Mr. Jacob, can you explain how this wall came about?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us on Obtv. Our class is very proud to display this meaningful wall here. So the Girl Rising project is about exploring the journey of young girls around the world in developing countries who have to overcome some major obstacles and fight for their right to have an education. And so the film looks at the journey of these girls as they struggle in parts of the world where the girl child does not have the same opportunities as the boy child, especially when it comes to their right to have an education. So our students were so inspired by the different stories from around the globe, so they decided to create this wall which represents the journey of some of these girls and perhaps how they connected or how they resonated with the content that we explore. So as you can see here, there are many different quotes, but the main message here is educate girls and change the world. And most countries do not educate their girl child because of issues like early childhood marriage. We have human trafficking, sex trafficking, and other major sensitive issues that are limiting the path to progress. So the point here is that we want girls to take control of their lives. I mean, you have another quote up here, I am my own master now. That is directly connected to modern day slavery, where young girls are used as servants or maids instead of sending them to school. And as we may know or may not know, primary and secondary education is not free around the world. So we have a privilege here in the United States to have free primary and secondary education. And so we must not take that for granted. And we must inspire one another to rise above our current condition.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs.
Thanks for having me.
And now we're here with Jaden. So Jaden, how do you feel about this movement and what does it mean to you?
So, this movement meant a lot to me because it shows how like girls who are around my age and who are younger even have the audacity of hope and how they're able to show confidence through such terrible and horrific situations such as sex trafficking and lack of education, and how they are able to rise above all these situations. And that just really is inspiring because like it shows that if they are able to rise above all these challenges, then me as a girl can also rise above any challenges that I face.
Thank you. And now we're here with Mariama. So Mariama, how has this movement inspired you?
The movement inspired me because after I watched the movie and we did the project, I realized that the other girls, they're going through stuff that I'm not going through and it's harder for them. So if I put myself in their shoes, I would see that I really can't do what they can. And so, but I also have my own problems, so I would like fix that knowing that there's a hope for me as much as there is for the girls. And so I would like start standing up, like hashtag break the silence. I would start standing up for myself and I would do like what I believe in and embrace myself more.
Thank you, Mariama. Back to you guys.
In this time of the hashtag #MeToo movement, it's very nice to see OB students paying homage to the many struggles of women.
I know, right? It's 2018 and women should not still be afraid to struggle.
You're right, Melanie. All genders should have the same opportunity, whether it's in education, work, or in society overall.
Well, to change topics slightly, we moved to Obtv reporter Dahlia and this week's OB360 on Ramadan.
Good morning, OB. My name is Dahlia Amin, and welcome to this week's OB360. In the upcoming weeks, well, basically next week, the Muslim community will be observing Ramadan, a time when Muslims fast and pray to become closer to God. So, this is just one of the few religious practices that have come under extreme scrutiny in the United States. Sadly, many Muslims are afraid of practicing Islam, so one of the few practices is Ramadan. They're afraid because of the extreme hatred that is now happening in our country. Although Muslims make up a mere 1% of the US population, the intense political focus has made many Americans suspicious of our beliefs and practices. Pew Research conducted a poll of the Muslim community, and when asked about the most important problems facing Muslims today, the most popular answers included discrimination, racism, Muslims being viewed as terrorists, and even the president's attitudes and policies toward Muslims, such as banning them from the country. So what is even more disturbing is that half of Americans say that Islam is not part of mainstream American society, and that Islam encourages violence more than other faiths. To address some of these concerns, I sat down with Ms. Mahmoud, a math teacher in the OB Middle School. I also had a chance to speak with a couple of my peers as well. Assalamu alaikum OBTV. I'm here with Ms. Mahmoud, our middle school math teacher. So Ms. Mahmoud, what does Ramadan mean to you?
Well, Assalamu alaikum. To me, Ramadan is an opportunity for increased prayer, reflection, and an opportunity to engage in extra good deeds.
That's very true. I see it that way too. What do you think are the benefits of Muslims fasting?
So, fasting is prescribed for us so that we might learn self-restraint. That's a direct quote from the Quran. But fasting also encourages us to feel and develop empathy for people who have less and they were hungry.
That's very true. I see it that way. So, who can be exempt from fasting?
So fasting is incumbent upon all adults, and that includes young adults, like many young teenagers. But people who have poor health, the elderly, pregnant women, people who are pregnant, women who are nursing, and anyone who might be mentally incapacitated and unable to comprehend the fast.
That is reasonable. So what are some Ramadan traditions that you practice?
So my family, like many, because this is the regulation, we get up very early at about 3 a.m. We take a meal together, hard to eat in the morning, and then we fast throughout the day, and then at sunset we break fast with a small family meal. And some of our traditions are to increase, again, our visiting of the sick, our feeding people who are homeless or at shelters, and just helping in the community.
That's very true. That's amazing, Ms. Mahmoud. Thank you so much. Good morning, OB. I'm here with
Umayma
and
Aziza.
All right, Umayma, how do you celebrate Ramadan?
Well, we usually fast like every other Muslim. Fasting is from sunrise to sunset, not even water. But usually we break fast at ISPCC with the rest of the Muslim community because it feels like it's really nice to like break your fast with others.
That's true.
And we pray Tarawih, which is midnight prayers, and it lasts a very long time. But you know, leg day.
That's true. I love Tarawih. So Aziza, how do you celebrate Eid, the end of Ramadan?
Eid basically is like you fasted for a whole month and you're actually kind of a new person or like trying to be better. So we usually start off by being together with family, going to the masjid in the morning and praying with a lot of people.
Yes.
And it's very nice usually, like in the mornings, you know, in the sun. And spend the day with your family and just eat stuff.
That's very true. Thank you, Aziza. Thank you, Umayma. Thank you, Ms. Mahmoud, for that amazing interview. Ultimately, life must continue as usual, and this is why Ramadan is even more important to me and many other Muslims. This year, Ramadan is a holy month for the Muslim community and will be observed around May 16th or May 17th of next week. As stated earlier, during this time, Muslims do not eat nor drink any foods from sunrise to sunset. Yes, not even water. More importantly, Ramadan is a time where Muslims not only pray in order to get closer to God, but it is also a time to reflect on those that are less fortunate, the suffering that they constantly endure, and the negatives of life. One part in Ramadan that's very important is the Quran. During the month of Ramadan, the Quran was sent to us. And during this time, it's split into 30 parts, and each day we read one part. Ramadan is a very hard month for Muslims, especially in the heat. So please, OB students, be considerate of our OB students who are participating in the month of Ramadan. It is especially important in this current political climate that remember and practice one of the tenets of OB pride, which is respect. No matter what beliefs you follow, one should look at other faiths as a chance to learn about other traditions and cultures, and develop friendships that are essential in today's diverse world. To end on a good note, I personally love Ramadan because it's a good time to feel refreshed about myself. I become a new person and I carry that new person on with me forever. So that's all for today's OB360. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dahlia, for the insight on the religious observance on the Muslim community. This is an important day that means a lot, and I'm glad you took the time of your day to show us about it.
Well, that's it for this week's OBTV. I'm Melanie Lupina.
And I'm Dinola Cátara. Don't forget, she got a light-skinned friend that look like Michael Jackson, got a dark-skinned friend
What if you don't shut up?
Yeah, alright, my bad, shoot. And don't forget, we are the best because we are Orion. See you next week.